Hello, D&Ders, RPGers, Game Masters, and the such. It has been 57 days. 57 days since we played Keep on the Borderlands. Mike's trying to remember what the hell happened. I think I sort of remember. I kind of started watching a little bit of the last video. They were in Morgansfort, and they're trying to get their way back to the Keep because who is on their deathbed or dead? Who is it, Callan?
Callan is dead.
Callan.
In a coffin,
right,
with another coffin on top of him for some reason. That was very important to keep him locked in there.
Yes. And then there was don't you have one of them that's remember, isn't it Dale been reincarnated or something? Hey, give it a rest. I'm doing some D&D here. Dogs.
So Dale took the major blast from the ogre mage and was toast, and then we reincarnated him, and we rolled the dice, and unfortunately he came back as a harpy, if I remember correctly. But then
that's right.
I, not understanding truly what a limited wish spell was, I thought limited wish meant that there were like limits on the wish. I cast limited wish and turned him back into his regular self. But you have informed me that what it means is that at some point in time, he may turn back into a harpy.
At some point in time, he's going to have to make probably the most adjudicating response is that he will make a saving throw. I'll say, make a saving throw. And you'll say, why? Just make it. And after the third failure of making that saving throw, he's in harpydom.
Yeah. And
so clearly it's going to be something that it's going to build up, and then he's just going to spill over into the world of the harpy. So that'll be it's an impending line that he's going to run into, yes.
And certainly the way that you could, I don't know, I thought I might be able to play a harpy, but if I can't play a harpy because he's a monster, then he will fly off to have harpy babies somewhere.
Harpy babies? Are all harpies females? So who are they getting out there?
There's some male harpies. There has to be male harpies.
Are there really? I don't know. I thought every time I've seen a picture, it's a female.
Wow, that's
females. I could be wrong. I don't know much about harpy. The biological impulses of a harpy.
Maybe Dale becomes the one male harpy that repopulates Harpy Land, and I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Could be
That's true. He could actually start a new evolution because of mixing his genes. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So let's talk about Morgansport. You guys hunkered down for the night. I think you hunkered down in the chapel. Did you not? Was that it?
Remember we went to the inn. There were some cleaned out rooms in the inn.
That's right.
And but Mason was very smart. He put his two mechanical beings at the gatehouse to protect the doors. Okay. And there are villagers we asked to take watch. Don't know how responsible they are, but they're supposedly people taking watch on the towers.
Nice. Okay, so when you sleep it off, right? Because that's what you're going to do. You see something inscribed on the back of your door.
Okay. Can we read it and see what it is?
Yeah. It's in the chat.
Okay.
That's on the back of your door.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
We're all staying in the same room, I take it, right? Or we're staying in different rooms?
You guys were all in the same room. This was no, I thought you guys were all in the same room.
That's what I thought. Yeah, we're all in the same room. So I show this
but this is one of the doors on the inn that you stayed in. This is what's written on your door.
Kings should always do it. Huh. And what language is it written in?
It's in Common.
Oh. Okay.
And what's strange about it is it seems like it's almost burned into the door magically.
Okay. Kings should always do it. Interesting. Burned in magically.
Roll
Like
1d6.
from our ogre.
Yeah, we're rolling real dice, so roll 1d6 real quick. Both you guys, Mason, Mac, and Mike.
I rolled a 2. Not sure why I'm
Nice.
rolling, but
Okay. Well, just looking up and down the hallway, you see something written on another door that says this.
when golden goes both ways. Oh. We start looking at all the doors. Is the innkeeper still with us, alive, or?
And that's, you see this. Yeah, I think he's downstairs, but then you see this on another door.
Break it at your peril. We asked the innkeeper about what's written on the doors.
And that's the last one of the 4 different rooms.
Okay.
Yeah, the innkeeper's downstairs all by himself.
The innkeeper's downstairs all by themselves. Okay. And does it look like one should be in order from the other? Just this is what it's written. Kings.
That's how King should always do it. When golden goes both ways, break it at your peril. Learn how this game is played.
Lanwion says a riddle. I love riddles. He sits down on the floor and he starts fiddling, thinking. So I take it that it's morning time.
Yeah.
Break it at.
Mike, you take good notes.
I'm writing this down right now.
Okay. Do you take good notes? Do you remember the name of the trader, the bank, the stable? Did we have any names for these people?
Not for this town. The other one we had Naaman and
Okay, all right, that's right. I had those names for those people, but not for these people. Okay, that's fine.
We didn't have names for these people.
I thought so.
We accidentally killed a couple clerics. And one cleric lived.
Yeah, they were wonky. That's right.
Yeah,
Right.
But they were.
Oh, you know what? We did this in Owlbear Rodeo. That's the reason why I don't have them as pop outs. I was wondering why these things aren't popping out. That makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah. So
actually, no. I know why. It's in the book. Let me get my book. Damn it. Okay. Now I know why I don't have the names in front of me. They're in the book. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Aha. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
I want to see what the range of this. I have a headphone thing in. I want to see what the range of it is. I have to go all the way downstairs to get the book. I was like, "Where's all the names?" I said, "Now I remember. They're downstairs." All right. I expect you to cut out any second now, because that's how life is, right? Let's see.
So Mason, we have
my library. Oh yeah, I need this.
We have a number of things that we were trying to accomplish here. So first and foremost, Callan wants to get back to the fort as fast as possible because he wants to resurrect his twin brother Callan, right? So we want to raise the ranger from the dead. But we also have this father and son that we said we were going to return to the fort. So we're trying to return them. We had this mule that was with us that was carrying some crazy stuff. And if I recall, there were bones in there. I mean, there were bones in the mules underneath the things. I
think so.
Yeah. And then this fort was under attack and there's an army walking somewhere. I mean, there's just a lot going on. And now there's riddles written on doors.
I found it! Yay! And guess
Okay.
what? I went ahead and got my Swords and Wizardry rule book. I was almost too lazy to go get it earlier, but yeah, we got it now. We're good. It's all good. Oh yes, here's everybody's names. Much better. I'm embarrassed. All right.
So, John, did you hear that recap of all the things that we're supposed to be doing?
Somewhat, maybe.
Okay, so we go down to eat breakfast, right? And as we're eating breakfast, Callus is pointing out that we have to get back to the keep because we have to raise his brother, his twin, from the dead.
Uh-huh.
We have to get the father and son, which I take it they're with us because they're in the room with us, back.
Right.
There was the mule or the pony that we brought here that had bones in it that the cleric said he was going to look at. Some what that has to do with anything, but there are bones being transported back and forth, and Naaman's involved in that. And then apparently war. Orcs attacked this fort and then left and headed in a direction that we're assuming is back to the keep, but we don't know. So there's an army out there.
Yes.
Okay. And in between us and the army, or in between these two forts, is an army.
Or that you know of. I mean, you're really not, it's kind of weird. Okay, I get everybody's name now. I'm actually happy I made that little jaunt downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically you have these things burned into the thing. So you go talk to the innkeeper and try to find out what the hell's going on?
Yeah, we asked the innkeeper about the riddles in the door. What's the deal with the riddles in the door?
His name's Loryn, Lorynn. Okay.
Okay.
And he says, you know what? That's some kind of magic-y stuff. Look at the way it's written. It seems like it was just been burned in somehow. That's for the Teramides. Calon Teramides. He would be the one to explain that to you. I have no idea what that is.
Oh, that's the wizard that lives across the street from you. That we couldn't get in there.
Yeah, I'm the only person I know that can do some kind of magic. Would be someone like him.
Right. Okay. Great. All right. Well, thank you. So now, one more.
He was in 10. If you remember, he had a really heavy iron door that was not broken into.
Was not broken.
Probably some kind of magic lock probably was on it as well.
Yeah. Well, oh, and you need to know what my spells are, right?
Yes. Yeah, you want to spit them at me? Forgot about that. Thank you.
Yeah. Crap. I will. Oh, last night could I have cast any remaining spells into my wand?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna roll. I think I have a 5% chance of blowing up my wand.
It's a 1 out of 20. Don't do it. Yeah, go ahead.
1 out of 20. Okay, awfully close. A 3 and 11. All right, so I put
nice
one web. And one
web?
magic. I put one web and one magic missile back into the. So now my wand has 2 webs and 2 magic missiles.
Okay.
But I'm going to study magic missile, shield, sleep, phantasmal.
Wait! Magic missile.
Magic missile, shield.
Yep. Shield.
Sleep.
Sleep. Nice.
And I
And
wish I had knock, but I don't have it. So I'm going to, for second level, I'm going to study Phantasmal Force and another web.
okay. All right. You're locked and loaded.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So all right. And I just want to make sure that I know what we're working with here. So we have Callus the Wizard. We have Lamweon the Thief. We have Dale, our not so happy cleric, dwarf that is dreading turning into a harpy. We have oh no, at this point that's right, he doesn't know because it was a limited wish. So Dale's very happy. Know. All right, that's right.
Yeah, that's we just metagame Dale's experience.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. Callus hasn't.
You were curious on how it was going to work, and I didn't want you.
Yeah,
I didn't want you to have anxiety.
Yeah,
it was
yeah. Dale's happy as a peach right now.
Okay, good.
And then we had Gru, the fighter.
Yeah, right? The dwarf fighter, right?
Dwarf fighter. And don't we have a paladin?
Greg, the paladin.
All right. What was the
Mason,
paladin?
Do you have your characters?
Yeah, I have them.
Okay, good. What else do you have?
So, and we have paladin, and those are the characters. But then we also have these two NPCs with us. We have the father and son.
Right.
All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So, okay. What I'd like to do, well, this is what Callus is suggesting, but he's putting it up to the group. I know there's a lot going on, but I really want to get back and save my brother. I want to get back and resurrect my brother. That's and we also need to find this, see if this army is. So if I could figure out a way, I don't think I could fly us all there, but I might be able to fly half of us there. But we also have to return the father. But I need Dale to come with me. And I don't want to return the father. I don't want to turn them without. And I point to the paladin because the paladin can explain all this to he's our knight in shining armor. So I guess my question is, I don't think he can. That genie that I summoned, he can't lift us all. I don't think he can. I think he's limited in the amount of weight that he can carry. Flying. I know I'm spitballing here, but I'm just trying to figure out a way of getting.
Well, I think when time occurs, I think I just make a roll and see if he does it. I'll give him a saving throw.
It's the Ifriti.
The Ifriti. Oh, yeah, that's right.
You can carry up to 1,000 pounds of weight.
I don't know. He might be able to carry you guys. I'd have to basically do a roll.
Okay. Well, all right. So we finish our breakfast. I know the place is a tattered mess, but there has to be over at the, I think 11 is the forge, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So
that's the smith, and obviously the magic user is the 10th, and 9th was just, I think, a residence.
Yeah.
Or 8. Okay. Is that 8? That was 8. 8 was the stable master's residence, and 9 was the gambling house. Gambling house is torn apart. There's nothing left.
Yeah.
That was a orc trashed the hell out of that. Just FYI.
So we're gonna go look for long chains. Are there any long chains
in the smith's house?
Yeah, like we're looking for 40 feet of chain. Something.
Okay. So as you're walking across, right? To get there, you notice there's like a sliding little door that's right there on 10. And hanging out of the thing is a red silk like scarf kind of thing, kind of blowing in the wind. Was not there last time you came by the place.
Mason, he really wants us to go mess with this guy. Yeah, all right.
He really wants us to mess with this guy.
I'm telling you. So we're going to add like a sixth thing that we got to worry about. All right. So, all right. Lanweon can't let it go. Lanweon's going to go look at the scarf, and he's going to try to figure out if can he do like an intelligence check or something, and see if
it's fine silk scarf. It's worth money.
Oh. He's going to pocket the scarf, but while he's doing that, he's going to see if the door's open.
So when he pulls on the scarf to pocket the scarf,
yeah,
a bell rings.
Oh. He immediately runs behind the paladin.
Okay. Just then the little window opened up even more because it was hanging out that little window hole, right?
Yeah.
And you see these two blue eyes staring out at you. And then he says, "Welcome, strangers. Did you find my riddle?"
Yes, the king should always do it. When golden goes both ways, break it at your peril, learn how this game is played.
So what's the answer?
The answer is trust.
No.
Oh, I thought it was trust. Lanweon peeps up. Pardon?
Pardon?
Pardon. King should always pardon.
No. I see these two little blue eyes looking like this. No.
No.
I thought you were a smart group of adventurers.
Dale says, "Look, laddie, we've been through a lot. We're tired. And where were you? Where were you? Why weren't you defending the keep?"
Well, there was too many. I would have been overrun. I think the problem with the keep is obvious.
Yeah.
It's not because the orcs came.
I think that's very obvious. There are too many bloody orcs.
No, it's because we're missing something.
Someone to rule you?
Rule! You found the answer to my riddle!
Rule. I got you.
Right then he opens the door and he's like a small little kind of gnome-looking character.
Mm-hmm.
He was standing on a little step ladder. He comes down, he opens the door. Come on in, my friends, come on in.
Oh.
He welcomes you into his little house.
Okay.
Right? It's got all sorts of smells going on, all sorts of potions being baked and everything. And you can tell there's just a ton of stuff everywhere. He's wearing like very, very beautiful, fine clothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he has all these scrolls everywhere. And he says, "Now, you wouldn't happen to have a set of bones for me, do you?"
We do have a set of bones. We have them on our pack horse.
Oh, could you bring them here?
Certainly. Now, Callus was very interested in the scrolls, and
Mythical body.
Dale was very interested in watching the thief, making sure he doesn't steal anything. And Dale says, "Gru, Lanway and I will go get the pony. We will bring it to you," because Lanwayon's the one that discovered the bones.
Oh, nice. Right.
So we get the thief out of there before he pockets anything, and yeah. But Callus wants the paladin to stay just in case something goes south.
Get to the
Nice touch of
potty.
muscle.
I can't tell with dogs. I can't read dog anymore. No, I don't. What do you want me to do? Take you outside? You have to go potty? So he turns around and he's like very excited. He gets the bones, pulls them out, and they're like, if you really look at them, look like sections of something. It's really hard for you to kind of make out what they're from.
Right.
And he immediately puts it in this 2 millstone thing, and he starts cranking this handle, and he's grinding the thing into dust. You have to go outside? Okay. And as he's grinding this into dust, okay, you got to go this way. Come on. Come on. As he's grinding it into dust, it's kind of on a small little conveyor belt, and it comes off and then falls into a pot that seems to be kind of like been sitting there for several days.
Okay.
And then he says to you, he says, this takes quite a while to make. I was ready for this for quite some time. I'm so glad you could have brought it at a better time the whole time he's doing this whole thing. And he sits there, he starts to stir up the whole time, like talking to you and telling you about these bones are so hard to come by. You have no idea how hard they are to come by. Yeah. And he's like making this thing. And then he goes down, he has this thing where he kind of scoops it. It's like some kind of ladle, essentially.
Right.
Lifts it up, pours it into these small vials, right? And he pours about like maybe 6 of these vials. And then that's it. That's all there is. And he turns and he says, I must give you 2 of these for bringing this to me.
And what are these vials?
Oh. This was made from the bones of a deceased gold dragon. These are potions of heroism.
Oh.
If you drink one of these before you go into battle, it's amazing. It's amazing what happens to you during the duration of that battle. You will overcome amazing odds.
Can Callus do an intelligence check to see, because he studies dragons, he knows dragons. Did these look like dragon bones?
Well, they were kind of refined and washed, and from what you could tell, he doesn't look like the guy was lying. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, he looks like he's on the up and up from what
Gotcha.
you're looking at, right? Or he could be lying his ass off.
Well,
I'm just kidding you.
Well, we thank him for the potions, and we ask if anything else in here is for sale.
Oh,
for trade.
Well, the herbalist does most of the healing-y type stuff. Me, I just dabble in finding potions and scripting things on my time. I have different things worth interested. This is
Do you have any?
This is interesting. I got a nice scroll for you right here. This is a protection from magic scroll.
Nice.
Here's another scroll. This one's really kind of old. This is something that's some people don't like it. It scroll, when you read it, it detects evil. The person who reads it out is able to see anything that's evil within 120 feet of it for almost like an hour. Able to detect evil.
Wow, that would be incredibly useful. How much are you willing to sell or trade those?
What else do you have that was brought in on the cart?
We have lots of things on the cart. Yeah, we do, don't we? And Dale says, but we owe some people some money. Or Gru gets a curse. Well, how much are you asking for the protection from magic and the detect evil spell?
Well, I don't know. I mean, this is my business.
Yes.
I sell these for quite a bit. I would sell the one that does the protection from magic, 100 gold pieces.
Okay.
The detect evil, that would be 100 gold pieces.
All right.
But I made something right here that's amazing.
What's that?
Totally uncontrollable, but amazing.
Okay.
He holds what it looks like an Erlenmeyer flask. And you look at it, it's a green cloud swirling around with lightning in it.
Ooh.
Now this I don't know if you can control. But this right here, when you open this bottle, poisonous vapors boil from it and come out and then flow about the ground. It moves out into an outside circle, eventually taking up to 100 feet of space. And guess what it does?
Kills.
Everything. This was my last resort in case they were to break into my place, and I don't want any of this magic going into the hands of orcs. I just
Sure.
lift the cork and wait for the last minutes, but I kind of consider it he looks at it with his blue eyes and he says, it's almost like a doomsday.
I sense, Master Gnome, that you have been a caring and wonderful citizen of this community. And I also sense that I understand that you didn't fight out there because there were orcs. There were lots of them. I get that. But you would want those orcs to pay for what they did, would you not?
Oh, no. You're getting me all wrong. You answered my riddle. I want you to rule. I saw what you did with the Ogre Magi. I was scrying the whole thing. You and your friends could easily rule all Morgansport. You could take care of these people. You brought them into the actual square and fed them. This is what this town needs.
But and we appreciate your confidence, but we have to go take care of those orcs because if they come back, eventually
you would take care of them. I'm sure you have magics that you haven't even bestowed.
Well, this is what I'm driving at, Master Gnome. With that bottle that you have there, that would help us to go take care of these orcs. Would you be willing to donate that to the cause? And
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I will donate it, but you don't understand, we need a ruler here at Morgansport. Our ruler fell quite some time, and we have been in disarray ever since. Even the knights, they just seem to be, no one's really taking step up to take command. And right now, it doesn't matter, they're all gone.
I turn to the paladin, I say, we have a leader of men, this golden knight, and he certainly could come back and be a champion of this fort and lead this fort to safety. But I must take them right now back to the keep to warn Lord Binfor of them coming, and I have to save my brother who is dead. We need to resurrect him. He's a ranger, a good ranger, and we can. I
see. I know it was once again just a silly dream from a silly old gnome.
It's not. I think it's a wondrous dream, and I think it's a great dream. But we have to go save my brother. But what I'd like to do is take this little bottle from you and drop it on that army as we fly over them. You can scry, and you can watch it from a distance, a safe distance.
I was not thinking that when I brought this thing into existence, that you're going to nuke them from orbit.
I said, but my job is to be honest with you. That's what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to drop this bottle as we fly over them. And I believe I'm going to have to leave the paladin here with the father and son that we're watching, because I don't think we can fly them all over and then we'll come back. But again, and we can build Morgansport and we can sturdy this up and we can make a thriving community once again with your help.
Okay. I trust you.
And we
so he turns around, he gives you the flask.
Yes.
It's all glass. Just
Yes.
to warn you. just don't get pushed around or get into a fight and drop the damn thing.
I
That's all
understand.
I gotta say.
I'm,
You'll
I'm-
knock out all Morgan's fort. It's like I say, you're walking with a nuke.
I'm going to wrap this in a lot of cloth, a very, very careful cloth, and put it carefully in a safe spot on my chest, in one of my pockets. Okay.
He says, well, I wish you to get on your way and hurry back as soon as possible.
That's what we plan on doing. And
Well, what can I do to help?
we need. Is there perhaps a wagon that is broken or doesn't have wheels, or a large door that's on its side? Something that
I'm sure we do.
Chains, big heavy chains somewhere.
Yes. Who are you trying to chain up?
Nothing. We're going to create a platform that an Efreeti can carry and fly us back to Lord Binfor. Well, some of us. Well, some of us stay. You have a pretty stout door here, but I wouldn't want to take your door. It's a nice looking door. There's got to be other doors or a wagon around here. Maybe one's next door where the Smiths are often fixing wagon wheels.
I'm sure we have something that can be used. I have no problem. I will talk to someone in town and I'll get something set up for you as soon as possible. I see your situation. There's nothing wrong with that. Yes. So
Okay.
he turns around and he kind of runs out into the square and he's starting to find someone else to kind of help him with finding something big enough, like a 10 by 10 platform or something like that,
Okay.
that will easily be used to be able to lift everybody in your party. Okay. So he's out doing that, and and okay, cool. Oh, cool. All right. So, yeah, so he's out there, he gets over, and they have this giant platform they were able to make. And it has like 4 literally pretty sturdy chains that they found somewhere that link up and have a big ring at the top to basically all cinch them together. It looks like a stable platform. It looks like an old door that was used for actually closing the front gate before they started using porticos. So it's like really, really solid. All right. He says, "Will this do?"
That's perfect. That is great. So then I tell everybody to stand clear.
Okay.
And I bring out the Efreeti.
Now, what was the deal with this guy? He gets pissed off pretty easy, right? So he's like an angry drunk. All right, this will be interesting.
He's a fire genie.
Yeah.
But we'll serve as a slave till he figures out how to free himself.
All right, so why don't you roll a saving throw real quick?
Okay.
And I'm going to roll one for him real quick.
Okay.
He passes his. Go ahead now. You roll yours.
Pass mine. 17.
Okay, good. So he rolled a 16. All right. So he comes out, and sure enough, he seems grumpy and just a little discombobulated.
Yes.
His eyes flame up a little bit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when he stares at poor old Dale gets a pulling in his stomach, and now he's got to roll his. Because Efreetis are actually chaotic creatures, just letting you know. So that in the presence of Dale feels like he's not feeling well, and give him a roll. See what he does.
Oh, 19.
Okay. So he shakes it off. He thinks it is nothing because it's just something being in the, he's seen this thing before. It's no big deal. So the Efreeti asks, what is it? What is your bidding, my master? Right?
You are going to hold onto the top of this chain, and you are going to fly us safely to in the direction that I tell you to fly us, and you are going to fly us safely there, and then you're going to wait and then maybe fly us back. I will let you know once we get to our destination.
All right, so he turns around, he grabs the ring. Everybody gets on, I assume.
Yep.
Everybody's hopping on the
If we
board.
can, if we all,
So the whole town's watching this spectacle.
Yeah.
It's like a giant Afridi hot air balloon.
right,
Turns around and lifts the board up, lifts everybody up, and he takes off and he starts to fly in the direction overhead, going back down. I'll go back to the main map. You guys can see where
Right.
you're heading. All right. So you're flying back down this way. I guess you
Right.
were more or less following the river on the way down.
yeah,
So
and,
you're gonna go.
we're up high enough, hopefully, that we can look for. I don't want to be too high. I want to be, 300, 400 feet in the air, but I want to be able to see. Can we see where the orcs? Because if they're an army, they must have trampled through.
Oh yeah, there's actually a very definite like they went through this way.
Okay.
Of course, I would assume you guys would be flying overhead on the tree section, but
Yeah.
you can see where there's just been devastation. Just things
Okay.
been ripped and screwed up. When they came over here, they actually had to come over here and go across this bridge
Okay.
that left to the roadside, right?
All right.
Things have been just in disarray. Just trees have just been like set on fire just for screw sake, right? So everything's
Right.
messed up, right? As you turn this corner right here,
Mhm.
you guys would probably be flying over this way. You can easily see the amount of devastation being left in the wake of these guys.
Right.
When you get about here, you can see there's sort of like this area down here underneath all these, well, I don't know, how would you say, these treed areas right here. You can also see there was an actual battle over here
Mm.
with another, oh, you can't tell what they were battling, but this area right here is the Caves of Chaos.
Right.
So right towards the mouth of the area, there was like this giant battle, obviously with them. You see a whole bunch of dead orcs and some other dead hobgoblins, from what you can see. They're all like slaughtered out there in the front. They're fighting about something, right?
Right.
And you see them, like there's an encampment right over here, which you can see tents and everything, but no movement. It's during the day. They're not going to be out there today. They're going to -1 on all their activities.
So, so we fly over the middle of the encampment,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to drop the vial in the middle of the encampment.
Can you roll a d20?
Yeah, sure can. All right, that would be a 15.
Okay,
I don't know.
that's
Do
cool.
I get a plus? What's my dex? Oh, my dex is 17.
Okay.
So I get a +2.
Okay, all right. So when you go ahead and you drop the vial, right, and
Yeah.
just targeting it, it hits directly in the center of the camp. Once it happens, a little tiny green cloud, from what you see, shows up, and it pops up like a little mushroom cloud, but you
Yeah,
really
we
can't
keep-
tell.
We keep
But then
flying.
it kind of immediately starts spreading out along the camp, right?
Yeah.
And you start to hear coughing noises from all around. You keep going.
Yeah. We just let it. I mean, we're gonna slowly fly towards the fort, but we're going to watch from a distance. We're a couple hundred
All
feet
right.
up, so we should be fine.
Yeah. And when you see this thing, it makes this giant circumference. It's a little bigger than what the guy said it was. From what you're saying, he said it's 120. It's more like a quarter mile.
Okay.
I mean, it's making this big green cloud. I mean, leaves are falling off trees.
Right.
Everything's dying. Everything. Birds falling to the ground. And then it's like a really, really dense fog when you get down towards the bottom.
Dale
Right.
starts to cry.
And then it just stops. It doesn't dissipate. It doesn't go anywhere. It looks like a dome. So the area, it's basically, you're talking about all the way almost to the edge of the caves. This is the old island fortress
Yeah.
that's covered. Everything on the outside is now in this big circle. It looks like there's been a nuke dropped.
Oh my
But it's
god.
like in a dome. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's not blowing away.
Okay.
It's almost like it's almost like gelatin. It just stays there. So you guys keep flying overhead. Obviously, you're out of its reach. I would assume that'd be the smart thing, right?
Yes, we're going to fly to the fort. Oh yeah, but we're going to look to see if there's any other signs of critters.
No, actually, there's nothing that looks disruptive. Like these guys were walking in the wake of destruction, right?
Okay.
But this fight that must have happened outside the Caves of Chaos slowed them down in their advance and going down to Lord Binfor's keep, right?
Okay.
So eventually, you're going to get to the keep itself, right?
Right.
And you get to the.
And did we notice any of the army survive? that dome hit?
You can't. It's the fog is so dense you can't
Gotcha.
see.
Yeah, you can't
All right.
tell. Gotcha. Okay. All right.
So as you come up, obviously, I don't know where you guys are going to plant off. What's this? Oh, not him. All right. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. So you're coming and you are. I don't know. You're flying right up to the keep with this giant.
Oh, this is
free,
no. This is
my language, but
we are.
you're flying up with a giant demon. Is that what you're gonna? Yeah, hail arrows from above.
Well,
I'll have to edit that F word because that was not good. But anyways.
So yeah, basically what we're going to do. This is my intention. Is I want to fly and land right by the church.
Ooh.
And as we're flying over,
the church inside.
Yeah, we're gonna fly over and land inside
the chapel.
The chapel. Father Tavar.
Father Tavar.
Yes.
Oh.
And
on the roof.
And as we're lowering down, no, we're gonna land right by the door, but we're gonna shout out, "Peace to the fort! Peace to the fort! Peace to the keep!"
All right, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of a roll here to see. It's these two guys here that are the guys that you're most scared of.
Yeah. Yeah,
because they're looking for any bad stuff flying in the direction.
Yeah.
What's your saving throw?
Which one?
Let's say Callus. He's the one that's pretty much the vocal mouthpiece here.
12.
All right, why don't you roll 2d20s?
2d20?
Try to beat 2d20. Try to beat the saving throw.
Okay. Oh, that didn't happen. I rolled a 9 and I rolled a 6.
Okay. All right. So they see this giant devil-looking thing flying overhead, and they sound the alarm. And so you have archers all along the roof. All right. And they draw back. You guys are coming forward, and you're going to have a flail of arrows, basically shooting at the Afridi. Right.
Okay.
Not so much you guys, because he's the thing that looks so big ass and scary. Right. He has a very high armor class, so I don't know how much it's going to matter, but I'm just going to roll for the batch of these jokers. 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits, 4 hits. Last one. Damn. 5, 6. There's a 20 there.
Okay.
So they shoot arrows. 6 of them are going to hit. Let's see how much damage this is going to do the Afridio, and then we're going to have to do a saving throw to see if you're able to maintain some kind of control over him, because he's going to go ape crazy on him, right? 5, 6, 10. So he suffers 18 hit points with the damage from arrows.
And I take.
Oh, wait a minute! 2 are doubled. Wait, hold on a second. 1, 2. I'll double those 2. It's 3, 3. So let's just do that for fun. So 6. Shit. 24 hit points with the damage.
And I take it 24. Okay, so he's got.
Let me see how big he is. I'm gonna see how big he is.
He's got 10 hit dice.
2, 8. That's 10. 12, 14, 19, 22, 22, there's a nice one, 22, 30, 35, I think it's one more roll, 36. Okay, he took a beating on this. Shit. Okay, all right. So he's down to about 12 hit points.
So all right, and we are outside the castle still.
Yeah, that was upon flying. I mean, they're up here at the tops. Yeah, they're just flailing him with arrows. So now we're going to
land. I say land. land us.
Okay.
And as soon as we touch the ground, I call them back into the bottle.
Well, the whole thing about it right now, since you're telling him to land, they're going to get another shot off on this guy. Because if he's going to the ground,
Right.
I mean, they got the advantage of this thing because you guys are like right out in the open out here. I was like, this is going to be. They might chop his ass to nothing. Oh shit! Got 10 archers. Wait, hold on. 1. 2. Was that number 4?
Yeah.
3. 1's a 20. Jesus Christ. Oh, wait. So is this 1, 2, 3, 4? It's got 4. This one's a 20. Let's do the 20 first. All right, 4. 4 plus. Oh, Christ. All right. As he's listening to you and trying to land the thing, he gets down. You guys are about 10 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
And he gets hit with like 5 more arrows, and he crashes.
Oh, good Lord. Or does he just disappear?
Yeah, he crashes, and you guys want to make sure you do a saving throw because he's going to blow up into a ball of fire when he dies. So the idea behind it like this, you guys want to simply make a short saving throw and make sure you don't take a burn.
Okay.
If you fail, you're going to get 2 hit points worth of damage, but still, do saving throw, everybody.
Oh. Okay.
What happened?
Well, I actually rolled really high. Well, but I rolled 3 dice, but I didn't know who was for. I'm gonna roll 1-on-1 because I rolled 2 20s, but I don't know who. Let me because Landry.
Well, that's fine. 2 guys, you decide who you want saved. I don't care. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, but Landry gets bonuses.
Oh.
He gets +4. Oh, then they're all good.
Okay, there you go. All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Mason, you roll for your guys?
Yeah, Greg and Drew both made it.
They both made it? Awesome. All right. All right. He goes to the and basically you see what appears to be like this burning, giant corpse. He's huge, right?
Oh,
and just then the bottle cracks that you had him in.
Great.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. But excuse my language. Now you go look that one up. Anyways, okay, yeah. So you took him out, right?
I turn to the paladin and say, "Can you get them to stop shooting at us?"
Okay, who's making this call? Greg, are you yelling?
Yeah, I'm gonna yell out to.
What's your charisma?
13.
13? All right, well, you better roll 1d20 and get under a 13. Roll it.
I got a 20. So.
Nice! Okay, all right. So, no, that's wrong. You're supposed to roll under your thing.
Yeah. So it failed horribly.
So, the 10 archers are going to open up on you guys. So I'm just going to... What?
They don't see the 2 guys that are with us that live in the area and they're night?
Well, you guys, this is kind of a weird setup. So you guys fly in with this giant demon. That's what it looks like, a demon, doesn't it? And a freedie?
Yeah.
So unless someone's able to convince, I don't know how this is going to play out. You understand, like, so much craftsman coming from the Keep on the Borderland, out in the Caves of Chaos. It's a little bit of a mess. So the only thing I can think right now is that Landweon.
Yeah.
Okay, Dale and Greg. Wait, did both of them pass? They're both of them. No, it was only one. Greg was the one that rolled. Gru, what's your charisma, Gru?
6.
And see if you roll a 1d20 under your charisma. I don't know if this is going to work.
4.
What? Awesome. So basically, Gru jumps up and he says, It's not a demon, it's dead now. We will use him. He was our friend. He starts yelling, would a dwarf ever hang out with the demon? No, he wouldn't. He's like yelling back and forth and spitting at the guys. And they're really confused because they kind of remember him. So now they have this thing, and they look at it going, oh, it's these guys, right?
And Callus is frustrated. He's like, open the door.
All of a sudden, you see Donka Ray says, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was you guys. We just saw a big red guy flying through the air.
Yeah.
And we couldn't tell who was on there. We thought it was a bunch of orcs going to be dropped in the center of town or something. We're sorry.
Thanks to that Ifriti that you guys killed, we just decimated the orc army that was coming here to kill you.
Really?
You brought him a hero.
I'm sorry. We didn't know.
Yeah.
We're just here to protect the fort, man. We're sorry.
Shut. Father Tavar, now.
Okay, so they open the gate, obviously, and they let you guys traffic all in. All right. You come on up, and then obviously Father Tavar is sitting there, once again shaking up towards the front of the church. Yeah. It's early morning because you guys just left, right? Mm-hmm. It's like 9 a.m. and he's already started to hit the communion wine.
Yeah.
Because he's got his problems he's working through. All right. You come bolting through, and he goes, "Oh my God, you're back! I did." And he runs over and he grabs onto Greg, like because Greg was like such a thing for him. Oh, I know you'd come back to save us.
Well, we did. Callus says, and I know we don't like breaking up the party, but Callus asks Sir Gregor, and he turns to Lanwion because he says, Sir Gregor, I know I can trust you with Lanwion. Can you two take the father and son to the mother, the wife and the mother, and the daughter, reunite the family?
He says,
Father Tabor, do you want to bring them here?
Mason, this is your job. You're Greg.
Okay.
Yeah. He just says okay. Greg goes, yeah.
I will reunite this family together.
Isn't that how you started the whole thing, though? Didn't the lady come up to you and beg you to save her?
Yes.
Is that when he joined, right? That's right.
I believe so.
And that's finally come full circle. That's nice, right?
Okay,
cool.
And then with that, Callus, Dale, and Gru are going to go resurrect Callan.
Okay, this is where it gets... He's half elf, right?
He is, but when he gets resurrected, he may become all human.
Yeah. This is where it gets fun. Okay. So you go down, and there is a coffin on top of Callan's coffin, just as we described, right? You move it off, right? Lay it down on the ground. Callan's there. You open it up, and sure enough, he looks really great. He hasn't really started decomposing too bad, right? And they put a bunch of like herbs on top of him to keep down the odor of decay, right? So it's been about 5 days, right?
Right.
You guys are almost 7 days would have been out, so you're back early, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so go ahead, let's hear this thing. Go ahead, Dale.
All right.
Do your magic. Do your resurrection spell. Let me hear this thing. It better be good.
Sure. I just want to make sure that all right. So this is not, unfortunately, this is not the resurrection spell. This is the raise dead spell. So
yeah.
This is the 5th level one. So it means that if he comes back, he has some time that he has to suss up, right?
True, but isn't it like, I think, let me look in the book. Isn't the raise dead spell the one that has to be within 7 days, right?
Yes.
Okay, you're good. You're fine. You're good. All right, let's do this.
All right.
Hopefully he's going to come out of this.
Dale, let's see where he is. Where's his god? I, Dale Duran of the Highlands clan, call on Moradin, chief dwarf deity, god of creation, earth, good, everything that protects us, the lawful and true. Bring back this lost child, raise him from the dead, this defender of the weak, this ranger that seeks and only works to protect those that are good. This ranger that has served you faithfully for all of his life, even though he is a half elf. Anyway, bring him back. Bring him back to life. And
Okay, now first of all, wait. Let's get this in order.
Yeah.
Dale has to make a saving throw.
Yes.
Let's do one for him first. Dale saving throw.
Dale's saving throw is a 14. I don't know if that made it. Let me see, because he's only level 2. Holy crap, he needs a 14. Okay.
Well, okay, cool. He pulled this one out of a nick of fly, right?
Yeah.
So he gets down. He feels exhausted. He feels almost like the channeling of the gods going through him. All right, now we're going to do good old Callan.
Okay.
Let's do a roll for him. Let's see how he does.
Is it a saving throw roll, or do you may do a percentile roll?
Well, what is it normally? What's this percentile?
Something on the character says the raised dead.
Yeah, but what's his quote unquote constitution?
Oh, his constitution is 14.
So it's gonna be 100%.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, but we're gonna have a problem with the
half elf bit. I get you.
Yeah, we'll just roll, and we're gonna adjudicate what happens here. This will be interesting.
I rolled a 9. His saving throw is 11.
All right.
I'm just being honest with you. That's what I rolled.
That's the way I should do it. Anyways, so as he's starting to come to, right?
Yeah.
He's like really he's kind of trying to sit up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He feels totally discombobulated. He starts to kind of regurgitate, like just dry heave. He has nothing in his stomach. I mean, he's been where, and so then he starts going like this, and then he starts feeling his ears. He feels like something's wrong, and all of a sudden his ears become rounded right in front of your eyes.
Okay.
He's like looking around. He goes, "What's going on?" He gets up, and all of a sudden he feels like his bone mass density becomes like more intense, right?
That's right.
He's feeling something is totally changing inside him. Okay. Right. However, when he gets done, his eyes turned from this very, very light blue color, right? That they're like a really, really dark brown.
Callus starts to tear up, and he hugs him, and he says, "You're still my brother. You're still my twin. The Dunedain are back. You are a spitting image of our father."
Yes, he does look exactly like your father.
Yes, yes. You, the Dunedain have returned to grace us with their presence.
And he's sort of very, very confused at this time. In fact, he feels like maybe half of his understandings or retention or his memory are just missing. So it's sort of like a weird scenario where he actually feels slightly. What level was he?
Callan was a level 4 ranger.
Yeah, he's gonna drop down. Maybe he's gonna drop down to like 3rd level for a while until he kicks back into the reality.
Okay.
Because he's just doesn't know. He's just like he's so confused right now. He doesn't know who anybody else. He kind of knows them, kind of knows faces, but doesn't know who they are.
Yes.
So it's a really weird makeout, right? So he's kind of like, whoa. And then he looks. He asks questions. He says, Callus, I know you, but where am I?
We have a lot to explain. Let's get you back to the inn. Let's get you back to the room, and let's get some food in your stomach. And we will catch you up on everything that has happened. You fell and you died and grew here, carried you back miles and miles. Gru saved you, and we have we've raised you from the dead, and I believe you've lost that elven light, but again, you are a spitting image of Father. You are back, and I'm so excited.
He looks at Gru, and he takes a real good glass can. He goes, "I remember you. I remember we were. Was there spiders?" So, yes. Gru, how do you react to this?
There were a lot of big spiders, and they were some of the last things you've ever seen.
So, just to FYI,
Yeah.
whenever you he's gonna have to make a saving throw whenever he gets around the spider,
Yes.
or he's gonna be like in a state of fear and basically not be able to interact. So you might want to put that on his card. He has a phobia.
Yeah.
He's got a new phobia. It's called spiders.
Yes.
It's spider phobia. Arachnophobia.
Yeah.
He's got a new arachnophobia. But
Yeah.
but he's sitting there for a while. He's kind of like he's starting to nod a lot, like he's starting to
Yeah.
figure out, what's going on a little bit. And so he's kind of like not as, I don't know what the word is for it. He's not as distant.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's starting to come together a little bit more that that he is who he is, right? And then he turns around, he says, Talus?
Yes. Yes. My brother.
How long were you gone?
5 days. Well, 4 or 5 days. It's been crazy. We had to go get the spell. We had to go in a dungeon. Oh, you would have liked the dungeon. Oh, you would have had so much fun in the dungeon. Just like when you were younger. Anyway, and then I explained to him that we had to travel to the fort and that there was the attack of the orcs. He hates orcs.
Oh yeah.
And then I explained blowing up the orcs on the way back with the Afridi and the Afridi dying outside. Basically, catch him up to speed. But we're going to walk him out of here and try to get some food in his belly.
Cool. All right. So when you're walking him out, he starts to smile a little bit, but he also has this horrible look of like there's something missing from him, as you can imagine. He's not the same, right?
Yep.
In fact, it's kind of like, how would you say? There's a deep sadness,
Yes,
like that you can obviously witness in his eyes, which is kind of crazy. But what are you gonna do?
His immortality is gone. Yeah.
Some weird stuff going on here, right? That's he's 5.
We thank Father Tabor for watching him, and we offer him a donation for his church.
Nice. So I adjusted his character sheet.
Okay.
Because he's different, but also his hit points are way knocked down right now. He's at 5 hit points. We just got messed up here, right?
Makes sense.
So he's got 5 hit points. He'll be 3rd level. Why is his armor class 18? It must be his dexterity mixed with leather. What's he got on there?
He had it was his dexterity, if I remember correctly, because he had a really good dexterity, but he was wearing chain and he was wearing a shield. But he doesn't have the shield anymore because it was a shield +1. It was a magic shield.
He lost his shield?
Well, I don't know. No, maybe we didn't lose the shield. I think he.
Oh, did he? I mean, did Groot carry that back?
He lost his bow. I remember that.
You're right. Yeah,
I wrote that down. The longbow's gone, and his arrows are gone.
Oh no! Are you serious? That's right. Yeah, Mason had to carry his ass on her.
Yeah, but I remember the longbow and the arrows falling. I don't remember the sword or the shield falling.
Okay. Well, here's a penalty I play in my games, and this is kind of a weird one.
Sure.
You keep your constitutional bonus, all right?
Okay.
For hit points.
Okay.
But his chance of raising himself back from the dead again.
Sure.
It's now been reduced by a unit.
Makes sense.
In this case, now it's 75%.
Sure.
And the other reason why you do this is because shoot, my screen just went on wackadoodle. But the reason why is that then people you can't just keep coming back. You're not even the same person anymore. But,
sure.
So that's kind of, but he still keeps this Constitution bonus. Does that make sense? Come on now. What is this stupid? Why is this not working? I don't know. I'll let you fix it. It's fighting on my end. So,
no worries.
But yeah, he's still up and ready. We're good here. Let's go back to here. All right.
So we need. So we go back to the end, I believe. It was the innkeepers. They have a room for us.
Jonas? No,
Jonah and Millie.
Jonah and Millie. All right, here they are. Jonah and Millie. Yes,
Yeah,
here we
we
go.
go to Jonah and Millie. We explain, well, we don't explain a lot. We just say that, he's had a hard time and that he's going to be recuperating there. And we wait for Gregor and Lanwion to show up.
He says, we've already gotten word that you saved that lady's husband and child. You are now going to be praised as like heroes of the entire keep. No one does this. No one goes out of their way for complete strangers. So they're like so excited. They say tonight's room is on our house, and they say you will have the center seating in our dining hall, and you will have the best that we're going to be able to produce here. I am so excited that maybe you're going to bring back what needs to be brought back here to the keep is compassion. I have felt like there's been a dwindling of that over the recent months, over the recent moons. I've noticed like more and more people just seem to be not nice to each other. And I don't know what's causing it. I think it's from the top down, but that's just what I've been observing. These last 5 days without you, it's been really, really, something's wrong.
Dale says, bless you. And yes, we'll take some mead. And the ranger says, and I will serve myself. And he gets up to go get some food.
So then he turns, and then Jonah says, can I talk to you privately? All right.
Always.
And then he turns and he says, I also want to talk to Greg too when he gets back. Your paladin.
Sir Gregor should be coming back soon, or is he already here?
Yeah, he just walks in the door right about now, right?
Nice. Yeah, great.
He says, I think you need to come with me, and we need to go ahead and have a discussion with Kavik, right? So he takes you into the Ale Inn right there in Tavik's there, the owner of the Spicy Ale Inn.
Yep.
And Greg, he turns to Greg. He says, I don't know where you stand. Saying to Callon. He says, I'm not sure. I know you're part Elven. Okay, so I mean no slight against you. All right? But we see this very noble knight here with us. And we are worried for the people of the keep.
Seems as there is something strange afoot in this keep. Dark. That's what we sense.
Yes. How would you say the Lord Binfor has holed himself up in his room and won't come and talk to anyone?
Well, we need to have an audience with Lord Binfor. We just, I don't know the polite way of saying this, but destroyed an army of orcs that were headed this way to cause a great deal of malice. They destroyed the other fort, and we had to clean that up. And they were moving their way down here, and those idiots on the walls killed my Afridi that I was planning on positioning to defend this place. But anyway, I'm not sure out of the thousands of orcs how many of them lived, if any of them lived, because we were high up. But there were lots of them. Orcs, ogres, hobgoblins, whole mess of things.
Well, we have since you have left the last 5 days, we have not gotten any new visitors to the keep, and no one has been out to explore the caves to see how things have been going.
Well,
and this has been like really, really bad in the sense that we at least have some kind of idea of what kind of evil lies out there, but now we don't hear anything at all. And it's like, if anybody's brought up questions about it, like just ask questions. How are things going outside these walls? We are told to shut up and not concern ourselves with matters that don't concern us. Well, and it's coming from, I believe it's coming from the top down. It's very uncomfortable. And And then he says, he leans in really, really close. He says, even Marcus is acting strange. And usually he's the one that comes and lets us know things are okay.
So what's the best way to get an audience with Lord Binford?
Well, I don't know. He's never actually ever come and talked to us. He never comes out of his area. It's always been the case. He's always been very aloof. But even more so now, I mean, some of his highest ranking guards just don't even communicate with him. I guess my advice is you might want to talk to Marcus and find out what the deal is, but I don't know as if he would talk to anybody. I think everything is seen as a sign of weakness, and they're trying to hide that weakness.
I understand. Well, I promise you.
I don't want this guy. I'm looking for Marcus.
I promise you, on the soul of my brother, that we will do everything we can to help the good people of this keep.
Where's Marcus? What number is Marcus?
That I don't remember.
No, he's not. I mean, that's not him. You're not helping me, are you? No, Jebediah the jeweler. This is not him.
That's the apothecary.
There's Deborah the apothecary. I can't remember what clip was. No. Oh, right, now you're going through review time. Okay. Finnegan Otep. Oh my God, Finnegan. There he is.
Dear General Marcus.
Fine, he's 15. Okay.
Okay.
We finally found him. We clicked everybody but him. All right. So General Marcus, as you guys are talking right there at the bar, he comes walking in, all right, in his full regalia, walks in there and goes up to the bar, and he notices immediately Greg, and he says, "It's nice to see an honest fighting man." He goes, I'll take a mead. So he's sitting there, and sure enough, Tabbick gets him one. He starts drinking it right here at the bar. And then he says, it's almost like it's not the same guy. He says, before he was so happy to see you guys before. Now he's kind of like, well, looks like you made it back and you weren't dead. 5 days, huh?
5 days.
Stops, takes another sip.
Is Dale with us?
Yeah.
Okay. Dale is going to move to the other side of the tavern.
Okay.
And discreetly, he's going to cast Detect Evil. It picks up any evil intentions, evil thoughts, evil auras, enchantments. They can all be determined by this spell.
Is this with the Is this using
No, this is using his first level cleric spell. It lasts for 1 hour, and the range is 120 feet.
Nice. Okay. So when using the spell, no, he does not detect evil at all.
So there's no sense of an enchantment or anything.
He just looks at this. If anything, you could tell the guy's freaking tired, man.
Gotcha. Dale kind of gives the signal. Yeah, nope, everything's fine to the other folks.
He's sitting there, and he looks, and he's like kind of looking around. He goes, he says, I was like, okay, I'm in this. Boom, start. I'm gonna send you guys a link so you can get into the actual thing here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's upload one. Let's see. Oh, that's nice. Open. Oh crap. Neat. Okay. Let's try to put a map up here. Oh. Oh, none of my tokens are here. Okay, that's cool. All right. Let's share this tab so we can see what's going on. Okay. There's like a whole bunch of things. So we'll make the arrows. Who's that? It's Callan.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Callan's sitting there. Yeah. He's got himself some food.
There's Landleon would be that guy, right?
Sure. A dagger. That works.
Okay. And then we're gonna drop where's the yes, I like this one. This right here will be that'll be Greg. This of course would be
Dale.
now that's a probably the battle axe would be Gru.
Well,
right?
that is Gru, yeah, definitely.
Okay. You said you moved him all the way over here. That would be Dale, right?
Yeah.
If you had what more? Who else is in your party? Oh yeah, Callan.
Callus. And
Callus.
then we have yeah.
That's everybody.
That works.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. So I'm gonna grab this guy. He's gonna be, let's say he come over and he pushed his way into here to sit down with you guys right here.
Yeah, nice.
I'm gonna go ahead and send you guys this in the link so you guys can play with it. Right? It's always fun to have something like this. And the thing is, keep on the Borderland to say keep on the Borderland. KOTBL is the password if it asks for one. I don't know if it does or not, but you should really just get in there. Everybody grab something, right?
We're gonna do a little battle.
Huh?
Keep on the Borderland. Gotcha.
Yeah, KOTB, right? Oh.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. So what happens is like you guys are just kind of sitting there,
Yeah.
mind your own business, kind of like that. He's sitting with you. He's right
Right.
here at the corner, right?
We're
He
gonna
sits,
ask,
kind of looks at, oh,
oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, we're ask him how's it going? How's his day been? We're just gonna chit chat with him.
You know how days can be. Some are rougher than others.
So what's
Right.
got you down?
I mean,
You
just
seem stressed.
it's not depression isn't the problem as much as the fact that there's a overall unease of things that have been going on outside these walls. And it's so funny that you've been outside these walls, right? All of a sudden you see a cadre of troops start moving into the actual room, such as that. They all come here. Some are occupying tables. Obviously, they're all glancing your way at the time when they're doing this, right?
Mhm.
And they're kind of looking. And then he says, point blank, he says, you wouldn't happen to have a little bit of free time on you, do you?
The ranger says, well, I was just dead a few minutes ago, so yeah, I've got nothing but free time.
He says, I'm just like thinking that maybe, you know, you have the time to go and have a discussion with the Lord Binfor.
We would love to have a discussion with Lord Binford. Matter of fact, we need to warn Lord Binford about the approaching army.
Oh, is that the case? All right. Yeah, I mean, that's fine with me. I mean, the reason why I'm asking you is that he has his suspicions about you. I'm not going to lie.
This is the same guy that we met with when we got here. He asked us to get certain gems from the caves. We brought him the gems. We've done everything that he's asked to do, and we've saved 2 of his residents, and he has concerns about us.
Look. You know what? I don't know if this is. I don't know if this is my business, but why don't you talk to him about it?
I think that sounds like a great idea.
Sounds like a winner.
Sounds like a winner. Let's go have a chat with Lord Binfor.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what we'll do. So he turns around, and he is going to. I get to load in the next map. Sorry about this, but they take you through the gates. As you go through, you see familiar people. As they're nodding as they come in. Right? They nod at you.
So I just
they kind of seen you before, but they're also very taken aback at the same time. Right.
I also want to keep you abreast that the detect evil spell lasts for quite some time, and it's 120 feet.
Okay.
So Dale is being very in tune to see if he senses any evil.
Okay, that sounds like a winner, right? We'll put that shield. This will be for lack of better things. We're gonna put this here. There's my paladin. There is my cleric. Here's my book. That'll probably be you, Callus. I believe Callan would probably be hanging towards the back on this thing. And of course, we'll have our. Where's my battle axe for good old fashioned brew? You're up here too. I don't know how well you guys can see these things. Can you see pretty good?
I can. I just had to blow it up a little bigger, but yeah, okay. I got
it. You also have at this point a cadre. Let's see if I can get all these guys up on here of knights or guards or whatever they are all over here. Fortunately, you can only grab one at a time. You can't pre-stack these maps, which is sort of scrappy. But okay, we're just gonna go with it. There's quite a bit of them out here. Oh, I just moved the whole map. Sorry. They're all about the sides. Some are sitting down, some are standing. There's almost a loose feel to the place. It's not as regal as you remember it.
Right.
For lack of, I don't know, it's just kind of weird, right? You remember it being a lot more, how would you say? I guess I'll use this guy. This will be for Marcus.
Okay.
It comes up in front of you, right? So let's take this. Let's get a little close. Ah, there we go. Right. Nice. Okay. So when you're coming in, you feel everybody's eyes are, of course, completely upon you, right? And it's an uncomfortable feeling. It almost feels like more militaristic than what it was when you left. And this is only 5 days.
Right.
Right. So Lord Binfor's sitting at the top of the throne, and he's just kind of sitting in a little bit, and he's got this velvet sack with him, right? And you can't see, it's like closed shut. And he keeps moving, and it makes a clanking sound. Clank, 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 clank. You can tell some kind of metal object inside this thing, or metal objects, right? And then he sees you guys, and obviously Marcus, he says, Lord Binfor, he bows, and he moves over to the side. Here are your, how would you say, your adventurers, right? And then Lord Binfor jumps off his throne, stands right there, and he goes, I thought we had a deal.
And what deal was that?
I thought you were to retrieve things from within the Caves of Chaos and bring them to me. You have been gone for 5 days.
The ranger died, saving 2 of your citizens. We brought your citizens back, and then we had to destroy an army that was coming to attack you.
There's like this long, pregnant pause, and then he says, but that's not the deal. That was never the deal. You are here to go in and to find me things.
And did we not find you gems and brought you back those gems?
Okay, so Dale is picking up a shimmer. It goes in and out, in and out. It's
Of
flipping
evil.
back and forth a little bit. Yeah, on
Is it-
Binford,
Is
clearly.
it coming from the bag?
Yeah, it's coming from the bag, but it's also a little bit of Binford in there too. It's a little weird. He stops for a second. He says, then he gets down off his throne
Mhm.
and then walks up to you and looks you straight in the eyes. And he says, I am not going to have you act like this at my keep.
Interesting. Okay.
If you do not hold up your end of the bargain, you are not allowed to come here and lick your wounds after doing your adventure. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. And okay. This is going to get interesting. Can
More and more of these dudes are shuffling in. I mean, he's got like a freaking, and they're just like sitting around. He says, and finally he says, you came to me, you talked to me. This is something you wanted. Now you must uphold your part of the deal. I don't let just anybody into my keep. This isn't someplace you just to flop at when you get tired and you're hurt and you want a meal and you talk to Jonas and you talk to Millie. Oh, we had this big adventure. Oh my, I don't care. I don't care. If you want my protection and my men to protect you at night, if you want someplace, a room, you could sit there and say your spells in all night long so you're ready for the next day. If you want a chapel, you could sit down and talk to Father Dave or a bunch. If you want to stick your dead brother in the bottom of my church, then you worked for me. Do I make myself clear? And until you realize that, you have a lot to make up for.
This is where Dale steps forward and says, "My lord, let me help you." And he puts his hands on him and he casts protection from evil focused on Lord Binford.
Nice. Uh-oh. I don't know how this works in this scenario. He rolled a 17, which is mean he is going to make a saving throw.
Oh. Damn.
Yeah. So let's see. I got to look this up one second.
Well.
Wait. Yeah, he's his saving throw. Yeah, he's okay.
He's okay. Damn.
He's totally okay. Yeah, he looks at Dale and he pushes him back.
Mm.
And he goes, and then right then you have like a bunch of these guys just storming off. And then Justin Lord Binford raises his hand as if to hold them back. And even Marcus jumps up and he says, I'm sorry. I don't know where you come from, but no one lays hands on the Lord of the Keep. And he turns around and he walks back and then sits back up on his throne.
Oh, I was going to do something before he walked back, but okay.
What were you going to do?
I was wondering if Lanwayon could steal the bag that he was playing with.
Oh, it's a pretty big ass bag. It's like the size of what's about. I'm trying to think of this. Okay, it's twice the size of this.
Oh, okay.
I think it was pretty obvious.
It was pretty obvious. All right. All
Yeah.
right.
I mean, you want to see if you could try it? Where's Lamley on anyways?
No,
Okay, stay right there.
he was too far back. I was
Okay, all right. He would have to steal it with 8 people.
watching.
I tell you what, if you want to try, you got to roll a 19 or a 20.
Yeah, no, it's again.
That would be
I
awesome.
just-
Oh, actually, we're rolling down for skills. So that
Yeah.
actually makes it a lot easier if you want to know the truth. If you look at it, he would have to read, like a 2 out of 6. Or maybe like a, shoot. What level is he? He's 4th level, right?
He is level 4, and
He's a dexterity of what?
he has a dexterity of 18.
So he gets a +2, right?
Yeah.
So it's a 4 out of 6. Let's say it's a 2 out of 6. If you really want to steal that in front of everybody, that'd be like a 2 out of 6. But if he does not steal that, he's going to be stuck in jail.
Well, that's the thing.
He's going to be tagged up in jail. They're going to have that guy
We're all going to be
locked, man.
stand up here. So I think I think it would be funny if Lamwion went to go steal it, but like Gru put his hands on him and pulled him back.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Gru steps up. Gru runs over. Hey, okay.
All right. Well, crap. The
He
protection
goes back up to the top. He sits on his throne.
Yeah.
And he says, "You are dismissed,
And
you need to go to the cave in an hour, or you are thrown out of my keep."
Callus is about to say something smart, but Callan says, "As you wish, my liege." And we, I guess, turn about face. Oh, and then he stops. He says, "You wouldn't have a longbow that I could borrow, would you?"
It's like asking someone to validate after you got fired from a job. Do you validate parking? You're like, what? What are you? He sits there. He does not even look. As to God, Binfor doesn't even look at this point in time. All right.
Never mind. Okay. All right. Well, I'll find my own longbow. All right.
There is one guard that comes up and seems to be whispering in his ear.
Oh.
There's nothing. There's nothing really distinct about the guy other than the other guards. But he comes up and he starts whispering.
Dale focuses his attention, his detect evil, on this guy. Is there anything wafting from him?
Yeah, he's pretty blazing hot.
I asked Marcus as we're leaving, who is that guard that's talking to Lord Binfor?
Are you guys walking out, everybody?
Yeah, well, we're being dismissed, so we're.
Oh yeah, you guys will go.
So we're being escorted out by Marcus. I would take it. So we ask him. Dale asks him who that guy is.
And he says, "What guy?"
Talking to Lord Binfor.
And when you guys turn to look, there's nobody there.
Oh. Well, that's spooky weird. All right. Well.
Okay. So as you're being ushered out, right?
Yeah.
Sergeant Merrick of the inner wall, he sees you guys,
Mm-hmm.
and he just kind of looks at you, and he just kind of shakes his head a little bit. Sort of confused shaking, not like a disgruntled. He just kind of, he shrugs his shoulders a little bit, kind of like, I don't know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Then you go to the guys of the soldiers of the inner wall. They're all kind of standing there a little bit, and they look just as confused. And then one of them leads in right on the way out, and then all of a sudden you see Sergeant Merrick just wave his hand at the guy like, don't say anything, kind of thing. Don't say anything. A little low down hand kind of thing.
Lamwion asks one of the guards, what was that all about?
The ones at the wall?
No, he's going to ask Sergeant Merrick. Hey, what's going on?
Sergeant Merrick just kind of, he looks around a little bit. He sees that Marcus now has turned and is now walked back up into up there where the king was. And he says, we'll see you in 30 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So then all of a sudden, like, obviously you guys work out and then you go back off to the tavern. I don't know where you guys are going. You got like an hour before you got to get the hell out of there. So I don't know where you're going.
Right. Well, we go back and I guess Is there anywhere around here that has weapons?
Yeah, got to
Oh,
name it.
okay. Well, we got to do something else before we do that.
What?
We're going to go visit Deborah the apothecary,
Okay.
and we're going to pay up what we owe her, or Gru gets this wicked curse.
Crew doesn't want to curse. All right. So you guys are there, obviously. She's in there. She's like grinding some of the mortar and pestle, making something. And she says, I really thought I'd never see you all again. And then she keeps grinding some more.
The
very quietly.
ranger, Callan says, well, I'm just back from death, but a deal is a deal. And I've been told that Gru owes you money. And I do not want but my friend that saved my life to be in debt to anybody. So how much do we owe you?
She kind of sits there for a second. She goes, from what I've seen, money's not going to be worth anything after a while.
Oh, apparently not. It's been a very, very strange day.
She goes, strange. The last 5 days have been in total turmoil. I think this whole keep is going to collapse right in front of us.
I sense that myself.
Can I ask for something else?
Do you have anything that could potentially remove an evil curse from a leader of the keep?
I don't know if it's a curse, but I want to ask. Can I ask you in exchange for what I have given you? Something.
You can ask, and if it's in my power to provide, I will. I just want to let you know or remind you that I am incredibly exhausted at this moment.
When this whole thing eventually goes sideways, that you protect me. You take Father Tabar, and you take the people of this keep, and you save us from what is going to happen. If it means sneaking us out at night, if it means breaking through the walls or whatever it is, or trying to escape, that's bringing you back. You help us if it comes to that.
Consider it done. We will do our best if it's within our powers to save all the good people of the keep.
And then she says, then there is no debt here. And then she continues to grind and making a potion. And then she hands you one.
Oh.
This is Callan.
Yeah.
And she says, drink this.
He immediately drinks it.
Right. He immediately gets 10 hit points added back to him.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Okay. He thanks her very much.
You all need to stop by here before you leave town. I've heard that after news travels so fast here.
It does. Before
you leave these walls, you must stop by here. I have something I want to give you.
Okay.
But I have to put it together. Prepare it. Just hurry up and make sure you stop by here before you leave.
Sure. Okay. And so as they leave to go, I guess they're going to go to Naaman's to look for weapons. Callus is going to stay back, and he's going to talk to Deborah kind of one-on-one, sort of apothecary to apothecary.
Okay.
He says, so hypothetically, let's say somebody died and they were reincarnated, but they were reincarnated as, something that, isn't that great, just hypothetically, like, a harpy. Anyway, and then there's a wish spell that's cast, this limited wish spell. And the limited wish spell says, hey, they want that person to be back the way they are. And, and I'm asking you, because you remind me a lot of my mother, the spell weaver, and it was a spell beyond my understanding. I didn't really fully understand it, but I cast the spell, and so now one of my party, it's not Callan, by the way, not him. He was dead. It was another party. Anyway, just hypothetically, they're now back to normal. But you wouldn't have anything to keep them normal, would you? Or am I hypothetically, maybe there's a harpy that's going to be flying around in the near future? I don't know. Hypothetically, magic is very strange, wondrous but strange.
Yeah, I'm really not sure if it's within my realm of magic.
Oh well, then never mind. Never mind then. Okay.
I don't mean to you know what? I tell you what. I think I have something I want to give you right now, and just here. And she turns around. She goes, "It's not 100% ready, but it's ready enough." And then she gives you like a bag or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And she says, yeah, this thing right here, and she says,
nice.
This right here has 5 very, very important things in here. This is this does a 2d4 plus 3 points of healing every time you drink one. This is my super healing potions.
These
So
are
essentially
potions. And I
yes.
love the artistry of the bag. This is beautiful work. Who did this work?
Well, there's a leather worker down the street. He does this sometimes for my more expensive clients. I had a more expensive client, but he isn't coming back.
Right,
so I gave this. I'm giving this to you. This is for you. This is to keep. Yes, and each one of these things. So it's yeah. This is.
Okay.
You may need this for where you're going.
I think we might.
They should be not, and then she puts like it's like batted up cotton and stuff like that in between each one of the vials so they don't clang together, so they don't break. And she goes,
Very
yes,
thoughtful.
yes, and I hope I get a chance to refill them.
And so do I, my good woman. You have just been an absolute pleasure. You have no idea. Thank you for all of your kindness.
Yes, yes. And then she says something to the fact that she's like a little confused as to of your transformation, Callan's transformation.
Yeah,
she starts saying something to the fact that is he there? Is he in the room with him?
No, Callan left. Callan stayed behind.
Oh, okay.
But Callan explains he's the spinning image of our father, a Dunedain, a ranger from the north. When he came back from the dead, I'm not sure. His elven side might have sailed to the white shores.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you be. I wish you the best. She seems very kind of upset, like she's looking at dead man walking here as she sends you guys on your way.
Yeah. We get that look a lot.
Get that look a lot. Yeah. Oh my God. So as you guys walk out the door, obviously you go back to the inn, you collect your stuff. You kind of get the idea of something's going on. All of a sudden you see once again Sergeant Merrick comes walking into the inn.
Okay.
And because he motions you like go up to your room kind of thing.
Okay.
So when you go up to the room, he comes up and he sits there for 1 second and he says, I don't know who those guards are.
Oh. The guards that
Lord Binfor kicked everybody out of his guard room. They're all on the post now. They're all on top of the wall, shooting arrows. That's when you guys rode up. You had 10 archers firing upon you. Everybody's up on the wall now. He's basically moved about his troops. The new soldiers, they wear their armor and have their faces covered the whole time. Nobody knows who they are.
Dale mentions that the one guard speaking to him was covered in evil, and Dale mentions the flickering evil as if there is something affecting the Lord.
All I know is that the day you all left to go on your last adventure, things started taking a radical change. Half of the king, Lord Binfor's troops were removed from the court, and he said he had new guards that were coming from afar. They showed up in armor we've never seen before. They were allowed in, and they went straight back to his courtyard, and he never introduced us. We never talked to them, never nothing. And then another group came the next day, and that's when all the guards were removed. He has about 20 of these men surrounding him at all times. The only person that still remains as his back and forth between the people and everything else is Marcus.
And you didn't happen to see a Black Knight, did you?
No?
No. Still need to figure out how this guy fits into all this. Well, this is a quandary. How many of the old soldiers do we have?
Well, there's probably close to 36 soldiers total.
Okay.
You have about 24 of them on the walls.
Yes.
So there's 12 on the ground. There's 3 on the inner wall, 2 at the gate, and me.
Right.
There's basically 6 on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 on the ground. So I guess that would be total, about 30 on the wall.
And
he figures if anybody comes, it'll come from afar, and basically the grounds do not need to be. That's why I understand the strategic setup. However,
sure. And as you would, but here's the question that I have for you: these 36 guards that were here before, are they loyal to you? Will they do what needs to be done?
Well, they get paid through Lord Binfor, and I believe that they believe Lord Binfor is still in control. And I don't know how much of a thought they put in it. They were recruits that have happened over the years. I have no idea. Like I said, it's not like what I'm doing right now would be. There was one guard that was discussing this out in the open with town folks, and he was immediately shackled and put in a dungeon.
Understand.
So right now I'm taking my life in my hands by talking with you, but I was not going to be a form or part of a tyranny.
Yes. No, we understand. I think what we're...
But I also am not stupid. I'm not going to raise my sword when I'm
Right.
completely outnumbered. But I also would like to let you know that this is
Right.
something's amiss.
Well, we need to free Lord Binfor from this evil that he's under. And we need to find the source of that evil and return him back to the way that he was before all this happened. Thank you for your confidence in us.
Well, I must go back. I'm sure I'm going to be missed really quick.
Yes, we will be in touch.
He takes off and returns back to the thing.
Yeah.
And then Jonas and Millie turn around and they go up to your room after he walks back down,
Mm-hmm.
and they say there's a couple there's a guard outside saying that it's time. I don't know how that relates to you all.
Yeah, it does relate to us. Okay. Well,
and it's just like one of the normal gate guys here. It's one of these gate guys, soldiers of the inner walls.
right.
And they come over and they kind of see you and they kind of say, we've been told it's time for you guys to go.
Yes. We understand.
So he kind of walks with you as you're walking through the street.
Right. Can we just stop off at Naaman's? We need to pick up some supplies. But you
Because
can stay with us.
You gotta make it really quick, or I'll get yelled
Yeah.
at or something. I don't want to trust that.
Oh,
So you stop in to see Naaman, right?
Yeah.
Naaman's in there. Okay, cool.
right.
Naaman says, "Oh my God, it's true. You're back.
Yes.
Holy crap!
We delivered the bones. Thank you very
Ah,
much.
how are things at Morgan's fort?
Destroyed. Orcs.
What? What?
Orcs.
Wait, whoa! What do you mean destroyed? What are you talking about?
Oh, orcs. Fire.
So did you
damage.
talk to Jero Lothera?
I don't. Was he the small
He's
gnome?
the traitor, Jero Thorera. Maybe not have mentioned his name because I'm sucky about this. Yeah.
If he was the small gnome, then yes, we did.
No, not the snow gnome. No, that's Teramides. I'm asking about Jero. He's like this big guy, balding, has a beard. He laughs like it's all shuddering things.
I believe
He's like,
not didn't see him. He may be a corpse now.
what? What do you mean corpse? Where are you going?
Only about 12 or 15 people survived the raid.
What?
I don't.
What do you, Raid, slow down. Wait. Okay, so you had a pony of stuff. Who did you give the stuff to? Where's all the stuff?
You asked us to deliver it to Morgan's Fort. We delivered it to Morgan's Fort. That was our bargain.
Okay.
So ponies there, gentleman who wanted the bones got the bones. He probably still has the pony too. Anyway, but there's only about 12 or 15 people that are alive in Morgan's Fort at this point. We came back to warn Lord Binfor, but he doesn't seem to care. And we're being sent off to get more items for him. So we have to go. There's another army forcing us out. But you wouldn't have to have a longbow for sale, would you? My brother needs a longbow.
Yeah. There's one. He looks really confused at this point. He just kind of points over in the corner, and there's some really nice. They're general longbows, but sure you could pick one up. And he says, "Yeah, that and a quiver arrow. It's like maybe 50 gold pieces. I guess that sounds about right."
Okay.
You mean Morgan's Fort was sacked? Are you saying who sacked it?
Army of orcs, ogres, hobgoblins, goblins.
What the hell?
What were the other things there? Gru, was there? I remember some goblins. Was there a troll? I think there was a troll. Or was it a hill giant?
I don't understand. You're saying that Morgan's Fort is no more. There's nobody left.
No. There's about 12 or 15 people there, and they want us to go back and help defend the fort. And they're going to do their best. But I would say that practically the vast majority of everybody there is deceased.
Okay, well,
I don't think you're going to be trading with them for very much longer.
Well,
there's nothing of value up there now.
But I might be trading with them even more. Everyone needs something. Maybe they'll be sitting down eating for supplies. I don't know. But it's just, I don't know. Me and Jero Lothera go back a long ways. I'll send messenger to find out what's going on. I'm just kind of devastated by this. I just could not believe this happened.
I feel horrible of bringing you tidings of such ill news. But yes, imagine how we surprised after being lost in a crypt, finding out and then coming in, delivering your goods to a sacked fort. It was rather uncomfortable. And then
so you're gonna, I know you're gonna pay this
mage.
I'm just kind of what?
There was an ogre mage, and I believe it was a hill giant. Was it not a hill giant, Gru?
Hill giants.
It was a hill giant.
It was a hill giant.
Why would I don't understand? This is the worst news I've ever heard. Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'll tell you what. You're gonna pay me for this bow. You gonna stick out some money for the bow?
Yes, we give them
all right
gold and.
Well, the new thing is chop around here. If they're telling you to get going, you better go, or they're gonna come over and
Okay.
Who knows? They might shut down my shop for a day to teach me a lesson or something. So
Gotcha.
I can't be holding you up around here. That's how this place runs.
And
I don't know. Everything's changing pretty rapidly around here. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
And Lamweon picks up some iron rations and tosses them a few coins. It might not be what it actually covers, but that's what he tosses them. It's a few coins.
Sure. All right. Okay. Well, you guys, great time. When will you be back? Later on today? Tonight?
I would love to tell you that we'd be back tonight before the sun sets. However, I do not know. I do not know if they'll let us in, but we'll see. So,
well, hopefully. Well, listen, see you and hopefully see you in a few hours. It's like 10 o'clock now. He kind of like waves you guys on. He starts going back and starts repricing some of his items or something like that. They walk you out to the front gate. All right.
Right. So, do we still have our 3 henchmen and the cart? We left them there at the inn. Arnos. Uh-oh. Did we lose John? We lost John.
Yeah.
Didn't we have henchmen and a cart? We had a wagon.
Yep, we did.
Oh, John. Hey, John, we lost you. Yeah, we're still here. Do you want us to get out? Okay. Oh, that's a 222. Yeah. You and you're sent. Yeah. 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 I just sent it back to you. I said reply and send it. Whichever one that you sent it to me in. All right. Oh, and how do I do that? I don't see. Because I didn't set up the meeting. You did. There you go.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That wasn't. I think y'all hang up now. Appreciate it. All right. So you look. For some reason I was clicking tabs. I got like 50 of them open up here. So I clicked the wrong one, and obviously, I meant to click off potion bag or something. So it got a little messy here. So you're rolling out, and obviously you got, he's got arrows. Everybody's kind of walking out. You go out to the front guards, right? And they're standing there, and they turn around and they see you guys, and as you're kind of making your exit here, right? They say, are you guys going to be back?
We hope.
Or are you leaving?
But we can't leave until we get our 3 henchmen and our what we have Lars, Mick, and Arnos, and we need our cart.
Oh, where are they?
We left them being fed at the inn.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I guess we'll see you guys back here.
Yes.
So you guys are going to trail off, and we're going to end it here. It's 10 o'clock. And the reason why we're going to end it here is because obviously you got to work the next day.
Sure.
And I got to get up and I got to drive to my mother-in-law's, which will be fun. So this was fun. I had a good time. I know there wasn't a lot of gunplay, and the reason why is we're trying to cinch up a bunch of knots. There's a bunch of stuff floating around here. So I am all up for you guys advancing down into the dark. You can have this exposition and discussion about what's going on as you're approaching the Keep on the Border. I mean, the Caves of Chaos, right?
Right.
I don't know, Mason. You are with the girls tomorrow night, so I doubt you'll be wanting to play because you're going to hang out with them, watch a movie. But Mike,
Yep.
I'm up for playing. I'll be down at my mother-in-law's in case things are. I thought I stopped this recording. Hearing me blather on like this. Maybe just. Oh, here we go. Stop. Okay, move.
Yeah.
So
I can play any night.